Those with a weak heart should stay away from this video and close their eyes. There's no need to watch it. The way the story is told is unique and captivating on its own. The old farmhouse sat alone at the edge of a forgotten forest, hidden beneath a veil of fog that never seemed to lift. For decades, locals in the nearby town avoided the place, whispering stories about strange lights in the windows and screams that echoed through the trees after midnight. Ethan, a young journalist obsessed with uncovering paranormal mysteries, dismissed the rumors as superstition. Armed with a flashlight, camera, and a determination to prove the legends false, he arrived at the farmhouse just before sunset. The building looked abandoned, its wooden walls rotting and covered with vines, yet something about it felt strangely alive. As he stepped through the front door, a cold gust of air rushed past him, carrying a faint whisper that sounded like his name. He froze, turning around, but no one was there. Shaking off the feeling, he began exploring the house. Dust coated every surface, and the floorboards creaked beneath each step. While photographing the living room, Ethan noticed a shadow moving across the hallway. Assuming it was an animal, he followed it, only to find an empty corridor. His flashlight flickered. The temperature dropped. Then he heard it, a slow rhythmic knocking coming from beneath the floor. Curious, he knelt and pressed his ear against the wood. The knocking stopped. Silence filled the house. Suddenly, a voice whispered directly into his ear, "Don't look under the floor." Ethan spun around, heart pounding, but there was no one behind him. Panic began creeping into his mind. He should have left, but curiosity overpowered fear. In the basement, he discovered an old trapdoor hidden beneath a pile of broken furniture. As he pulled it open, a horrible stench rose from the darkness below. His flashlight revealed a narrow tunnel leading deeper underground. The walls were covered with strange symbols scratched into the dirt. He followed the tunnel until it opened into a hidden chamber. In the center stood dozens of rusted cages, and inside them were piles of bones. Human bones. Before Ethan could react, he heard footsteps behind him. Slowly turning around, he saw a pale woman standing at the tunnel entrance. Her eyes were completely black, and her mouth stretched into an unnatural grin. "You found us," she whispered. Then the chamber filled with the sound of hundreds of voices speaking at once. Ethan ran. The voices chased him through the tunnel, screaming and laughing. As he reached the basement, the walls began to shake. Shadows crawled across the ceiling like living creatures. His camera suddenly flashed by itself, and when he glanced at the screen, he saw figures standing all around him. Figures that were invisible to the naked eye. Their faces were twisted in agony. One by one, they turned toward him. The front door slammed shut. Windows shattered. The farmhouse seemed determined to keep him trapped inside. Ethan threw himself against the door until it finally burst open. He sprinted into the forest, branches tearing at his clothes. Behind him, he could hear footsteps matching his every move. No matter how fast he ran, they remained the same distance away. When he dared to look back, dozens of ghostly figures were emerging from the farmhouse, moving silently through the fog. Hours later, Ethan reached the highway and collapsed beside the road. A passing truck driver found him at dawn, trembling and barely able to speak. He was taken to a hospital, where doctors blamed exhaustion and hallucinations. Yet Ethan knew what he had seen. Determined to prove it, he checked the photographs from his camera. Most of the images were corrupted, but one remained intact. It showed the hidden chamber underground, the cages, the bones, and standing behind Ethan was the pale woman, smiling directly at the camera. Terrified, he returned home and locked the photo away. Weeks passed, and he tried to forget the farmhouse, but strange things began happening. Every night he heard knocking beneath his bedroom floor. At first it was faint, then louder with each passing day. He moved to a different apartment, but the knocking followed. He stopped sleeping. Dark circles formed beneath his eyes. One night he woke to find muddy footprints leading from his bedroom door to the side of his bed. The next morning, another photograph appeared on his desk. He had never seen it before. The image showed him sleeping, taken from the corner of his room. Standing beside the bed was the pale woman. Ethan burned the photograph, but the next day it reappeared, completely unharmed. Soon he began hearing whispers everywhere, in empty elevators, crowded streets, and even through disconnected phones. They all repeated the same sentence: "Come back." Desperate, Ethan researched the farmhouse's history and uncovered a horrifying truth. More than a century earlier, a cult had lived there. They believed death was a doorway to another world and performed rituals beneath the house. One stormy night, every member vanished without explanation. Their bodies were never found. Locals claimed their spirits remained trapped underground, waiting for someone to free them. Ethan realized that by opening the hidden chamber he had awakened something ancient. That night, the knocking beneath his floor became deafening. Cracks spread across the wood. Then the floorboards burst open. Dozens of pale hands reached upward, clawing at the air. Ethan tried to run, but the hands grabbed his legs and dragged him into the darkness below. His neighbors heard screams echoing through the building, followed by silence. When police arrived, they found the apartment empty. No signs of forced entry. No trace of Ethan. Only a single photograph lying on the floor. The image showed the hidden chamber beneath the farmhouse. The cages were gone. The bones were gone. Instead, dozens of pale figures stood smiling in the darkness. Among them was Ethan. His eyes were black. His grin stretched impossibly wide. And on the back of the photograph, written in fresh red ink, were the words, "There is still room for one more."